Hey guys, Cronus Falls here, and today I am bringing you a champion guide on Madame Serris. Now, a lot of people have been asking me why I haven't already done one of these, because she is my favorite champion in the game. I love running her. She's got an amazing aesthetic, amazing kit, everything about her is great. But the reason is because I did not have a good Fire Knight farm until recently, meaning that I wasn't getting good immunity gear, and I really wanted to get that in order to show off her full potential. So before I get into the build though, let's go ahead and look at her skills. So on her A1 here, attacks one enemy, has a 20% chance of placing a fear debuff for one turn. Now if the target has one debuff on them, it boosts to a 30% chance, and if there are two or more debuffs on them, it is a 45% chance. So this synergizes very well with her A3, which puts on two debuffs. That way, when she comes in with her A1, there is a 45% chance of the fear. Fear, as you all know, is a pretty good debuff, a 50% chance for them to lose their turn. So pretty good overall A1. Let's look at the A2 here. Attacks all enemies, has a 40% chance or 50% when buffed, or when booked rather, of stealing one random buff from each target. Places a block debuffs buff on all allies for 2 turns if any buff is stolen. Places a true fear debuff for 1 turn on enemies who have buffs stolen. So if you do manage to steal a buff with this, very good double dipping. You get block debuffs for your entire team, which is really good, especially in arena. And true fear, also very good on those you steal the buff from. Again, 50% chance to lose their turn, but it also puts the skill they tried to use on cooldown, which is very good. Then on the A3 here, removes all buffs from enemies, places a 50% decreased attack debuff and 60% decreased defense debuff on all enemies for 3 turns. And this is on a 4-turn cooldown, and this is definitely what she's most known for, especially in the arena. It's an amazing skill. You get to come in here and remove all their buffs, so if they have giant shields, they have block debuffs, anything like that, you take it all off first. Then you get to decrease their attack and decrease their defense, both the big versions, and it's for 3 turns, so it lasts quite a while. Just an amazing skill, and so that is what makes her, I would say not even arguably, the best epic in the arena. Let's go ahead and take a look at her passive real quick. This used to be really good before Torment, now it can be kind of a hindrance, but places a shield buff on this champion equal to 10% of their max HP at the start of each turn. When attacked while under a shield buff, has a 35% chance of placing a fear debuff on the attacker for 1 turn. So the reason I say it's not as good after Torment is because obviously when she places this shield on herself against a Torment, she has a 25% chance of freezing herself, which is not good, and that is why you want to run her in immunity gear. So that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the build. So I've got her in 1 set speed, 1 set immunity. So on the weapon here, we have 28 accuracy and 13 speed. On the helmet, 15 speed, 11% HP. On the shield, 38 accuracy, 12 speed. On the gloves here, we've got HP percent gloves. Unfortunately, they did roll twice in attack percent, but they do have 15 accuracy on them, which is nice. And accuracy chest, again, rolled attack percent, wish they had rolled speed. But it's okay, we've got 6 speed on there and 7% HP as well. And then finally speed boots with 34 accuracy on them, which is very good. Then onto the jewelry. We have her in a defense ring with 18% defense and 9% HP on it. We have her in a defense amulet with 34 accuracy. And an accuracy banner with 22 speed and 10% HP. So a very good banner there. If it was 6-star, it would be perfect. But very good gear. As you can see, her total stats here in immunity gear are going to be 45k HP, 2500 defense, 222 speed, and 460 accuracy. So that 460 accuracy is going to allow us to compete up all the way through the platinum level. And with that level of speed, she is doing very well to come in there and get those debuffs off. I would like her to be a little bit faster. We could probably get some better rolls on like the gloves and the chest here down the line, but overall her build is still very good as it is. Let's go ahead and take a look at her masteries. So I use her only in the arena for the most part. I do have her in defense and support mastery. So let's just go over real quick. We've got some defense. We've got blast proof, which decreases damage from AoE attacks. We have rejuvenation, increase the value of shield buffs she receives. So I'm not sure if that works with their own shield. I assume so. Just a little bit more for her. Resurgent has a 50% chance to remove one random debuff from the champion when they lose 25% of their max HP or more from a single enemy hit. So that's pretty good. If she does happen to get frozen, stunned, anything like that, after her immunity gear wears off, or if they remove it, then if she takes a big hit, she can go ahead and remove that and get her turn. Delayed death reduces damage this champion takes from a specific enemy by 0.75% with each hit taken from that enemy. So basically you just take a little bit less damage there. Retribution has a 50% chance to counterattack when this champion loses 25% of their max HP or more from a single enemy skill. So there's counterattack and more counterattack if an ally gets stunned, frozen, any sort of hard CC. Then what is more important for her is the support tree. Obviously, she does amazing with debuffs. So we've got accuracy, 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 and then we've got arcane celerity to boost her turn meter when debuffs are removed or expired. Lore of Steel, get her a little bit more speed there. Evil Eye to drop some turn meter, and then Master Hexer to extend her decreased defense and decrease attack, and finally Eagle Eye for 50 more accuracy. So Eagle Eye is definitely something that is very good in arena for champions like her or Gergo the Augur, basically people that you just really want to land their debuffs. So that is the build, guys. I'm going to go ahead and show her off in dungeons first because she also does very well there. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ice Golem real quick. We can go ahead and pull into Ice Golem 20. So I did run this team. This is actually my second time recording this video, and it did just fine, but it was very long. It was like 7 minutes, and so I just am going to go ahead and put in a little bit better team. I've shown running through all of these dungeons with all rare teams many times, so I just want to go ahead and get a quicker run going here so that we can move through at a better pace. So basically she's just going to be replacing Stag Knight in my usual setup. So we're coming in here, we've got Masha Led. Do I want to run Septimus? Who else do I have? I forget who I normally take in here. Yeah, okay, that looks good. So basically we're going to have our Masha Led and Septimus doing our damage. Miscreated Monsters giving us some CC. Arbiter is coming in there to give us our speed boost and revives, and Madame Serris for our decreased defense. So let's just go ahead and get into it here. Basically she fills the role that you need filled in every single dungeon, which is AoE decreased defense. She does it very well. She is Void, so she can come into any dungeon and do it for you. She's especially good in Ice Golem, I feel, because she has the potential to remove the reflect damage on the second wave. So if she does do that, then you're basically scot-free. Granted, she may, depending on how fast you get through the waves, she may not have it up at the correct time to do that, so it's not a 100% chance you're going to get it, but it is still some good value that she brings. So see, she gets it up right there before we even see the reflect damage come out. But this team is strong enough that we're probably going to kill them all without it coming out anyways. So yeah, see, there we go. Through the second wave at 50 seconds. And now we're just moving on. So the boss should be pretty quick here. We may lose someone, but that's what Arbiter's in there for. And again, she's just in there for that decreased defense role. So basically anyone would work here. You know, Tyrell, Stag Knight, probably not War Maiden so much just because it is a Spirit Affinity dungeon, but she could still come in and do some work for you. But it's just a very universal role that needs to be filled, and there's not too many champions that do it. So if you have her and she is the only one then you're definitely going to want to be bringing her into all of your dungeons. And the way I said that, it makes it sound like she's not the best choice. She is amazing. She's gonna do way better than a War Maiden. And honestly, the only reasons typically to take Tyrell or Stag Knight over her is because they have a little bit more turn meter manipulation stuff going on. I didn't bring Rotos in here, that's what I forgot. I was wondering who else I'd normally bring in. But that's going to be fine. So instead of Rotos, we have Septimus in here. So we're going to be seeing a little bit longer run, but still not too bad. Probably about 2 minutes, 45 seconds or so. It is a pretty safe run with Mashaled's Leech just keeping everyone alive. Also Septimus just absolutely slams people. So if we can get a Holy Sword off on the boss, it's going to do a ton of damage. Let's see if we can. Not yet. So we get another slam coming through, but we're still looking fine. Got some stuns coming off, so yeah, I'm still thinking right around the 2:45, maybe 3-minute range on this run, which is definitely a lot slower than what we typically see with Rotos. Rotos is just insane for Ice Golem. He comes in, blocks revive on the enemies, and gets me through this dungeon in less than 2 minutes typically. There we go, so we are on to just the boss here. Unfortunately, Septimus didn't get the kill on the ad, so we don't have his Holy Sword back up yet. That would be a big thing to just knock the boss out right away, is if I could get the Holy Sword ability to go off on auto. But unfortunately, he just likes to focus on the ads when he gets it up. Still, ton of damage helping us out. See, 95k on an A1 without the decreased defense is insane. Septimus, can you get the killing hit, or is Mashaled going to steal it from you? Oh, Arbiter actually took it. That's funny. All right, there we go. 557,000 on his Holy Sword. So that is going to be the end for Ice Golem there. Madame Serris obviously coming in, filling that role just fine. We're going to go ahead and move on here to the Dragon's Lair next. So again, just going to come in with this team. Normally, I would run Tyrell in this place because he does more damage against the dragon and helps me get through that purple bar better because he has War Master. He just does more damage in general. But Madame Serris can absolutely come in there and do it for you as well. So we're going to come in, get our decreased defense, decreased attack up right away. And so now we are looking really good to just knock down these waves. This is a super high damage team, so we get through them pretty quickly, especially with Rotos getting his extra turns. Sorry if you heard my dog bark right there. So we should be getting through this wave probably in about 40 seconds or so, maybe 30 actually, just depending on how long this Tyrell takes to go down. So there we go, one more hit should do it, 33 seconds, on to the next wave. And so Madame Serris should have it back up right now. She does. So it's a perfect rotation. And the cool thing about Madame Serris is if everyone has decreased defense and decreased attack on, she will not use it. So you don't have to worry about her using it on the same wave unless it wears off. That being said, if someone resisted it, she may still use it, so keep that in mind. There's always like a 0.5% chance that it gets resisted, even if she has like 460 accuracy like mine does. So definitely could happen. But we are on to the boss now, right about the 1 minute 15 second mark, and looking good. Rotos didn't get his decreased defense there, but our Serris is going to come in and do it for us. So now we just need to work through his HP bar. He's about to get his inhale right now. Gosh, we were just so much faster than him. We were just knocking him down before he even gets to his first turn. There we go. So it is up now. Obviously, Rotos is in there to take care of that for me. We're already getting it down. He's only got about half his turn meter, so we're going to get a whole extra batch of turns before he goes again, I assume. Actually, Rotos may not get back around yet, but that's fine. So we're just chipping away through it. Madame Serris, the cool thing about her versus like a Tyrell is she actually brings decreased attack as well, which really helps you get through the waves because they do a lot less damage. Also, the dragon's attacks, it helps a lot. If you're coming in with a weaker team than this, like a bunch of rares, having decreased attack really will help you keep them alive longer. And that is basically the key to this game in the early stages, is just sustain. You know, as long as you're not dying, you're winning. And so decreased attack is a huge help there. And it does make her a lot more viable than someone like Tyrell as you're coming through. Because if you don't have CC, that decreased attack is just going to be massive for you. Alright. So that is it for Dragon. Let's go ahead and move on to the Fire Knight. So Fire Knight, I would say, is probably her worst place to come into. and that is just because she doesn't bring a whole lot of CC. So Stag Knight is a much better choice here. He brings that slow, but we're going to go ahead and throw her in here. This is my main team that I go through with, but with Stag Knight instead. And so we will see that even though we're going to be able to complete it, like that's not a worry here. It's not going to be nearly as fast because the Fire Knight is going to be taking more turns than he normally would. So he's going to be getting his shield back up. We're going to have to break it more often, and it's just going to be a little bit slower run. It'll probably be at least 3 minutes, I would imagine. Let's go ahead and get through this first wave right around the 30-second mark. And we will be on to the next. I don't think Madame Serris will quite have her decreased defense back up yet because it is on a 4-turn cooldown. And that is... oh, she does have it back up, so that's perfect. If you're cycling through at that quick of a pace, then she's going to have it back exactly on time, which is pretty sweet. Other champions like Stag Knight and Tyrell, you can find an issue that if you don't quite get through the wave fast enough, they use it again before you're on to the next wave, and then you're not going to have it back up for another two to three turns, depending on what the cooldown is. So we're through the second wave, on to the Fire Knight, and we will see here why she is not great for this boss. Assuming that she has it up, she does. So she goes for the decreased defense, decreased attack while his shield is up, and it is a completely wasted turn for her. We didn't get another hit off of the Fire Knight's shield, and we didn't get any debuffs off of it. So that's why I'm saying she's definitely the worst one of your options to bring into the Fire Knight dungeon, but still not a bad pick. She's good everywhere in the game. So we're just going to be working our way through his shield now. Without the slow that Stag Knight brings, it's going to take a lot more, and it's going to be a lot more risky. We're probably going to see our Cold Heart going down. The Heartseeker comes off at a bad time, unfortunately. But Mashaled's Leech is helping us to sustain a little bit. So the Heartseeker did enough damage, even with the shield up, that she was able to heal herself up and not die there. So we did manage to get the decreased attack and decreased defense up from her eventually, so that is cool. As long as you can get the timing right, she does bring a lot of value in that for you. And there we go. With that bogged down, we basically just won the fight. We'll have a Heartseeker coming back through, I think, next turn. It's going to drop the turn meter again and do some massive damage. So now we're just whittling away at her. Boom, big Heartseeker. So that is going to be the end of it. Madame Serris does not have War Master, as you know, so she's also not really contributing to the damage of this fight. So I would say if you are planning to use her in all of your dungeons, probably run the offense tree instead of the defense tree. Make a beeline down to War Master instead of grabbing Eagle Eye. And then down the road, when you have someone else who can do a better job for you in dungeons, then you can make her an arena specialist and get into that Evil Eye and defense tree. So that's going to be just about a 3-minute run on the Fire Knight, which, like I said, not bad at all, just not the best option. So now let's go ahead and take a look at Spider. So Spider, I've got a very optimized team. Typically this is what I'm going in there and running, but we're going to go ahead and take Stag Knight out for our Madame Serris again. I think it should work pretty much exactly the same. I don't see that it would really increase the time at all. So we're just going to come in here. We're going to get our decreased defense off. Right there, boom. So now we're going to have our Septimus coming in and hitting hard. We've got our Ultimate Gallic with the burns. So 2 million hit off of the Septimus. And then the Cold Heart is going to come through right now and drop the turn meter. There we go. So she's already down below 1/3 HP. And now we're just waiting for the HP burns to go ahead and finish her off. So it's going to be about a 40-second run, 40 to 45 typically. And Madame Serris can absolutely come in there and do it for you. She's not as good as someone like Stag Knight or Tyrell for a longer taking strategy because she doesn't provide the CC like the turn meter reduction that Tyrell does or the slow that Stag Knight does. So keep that in mind. No, I'm not going to keep that. Alright, so that is it for dungeons on Madame Serris. As you can see, she has a place in all of them. We are going to come into Arena now, which is the main sort of event that we're looking at here. So let's see, this looks like a really tough team. 248k power. So probably don't want to challenge that right now, but maybe something like this we'll check out. So we've got Arbiter into Lysandra, into Valk, into Trunda. So if we go ahead and boost, she is going to get a big boost in her turn meter here. There we go. So their Arbiter cuts in before our Serris, but we've got our Torment in here to give us a bunch of CC. So we're going to get our CC off with him, provokes, and now you see they've got all this increased speed, increased attack. We don't want them to have any of that, so we're just going to go ahead and take it all with our Serris, get our decreased defense up, and now when our Rotos comes back around, we should be able to just absolutely slam some people. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Valk, and then we will go on the Arbiter since she is their reviver. And now we're pretty much done. I'm going to go ahead and click on Trunda so our people know to go kill her because she is really the only threat left. Now that she's done, we just deal with Lysandra as we go along. And so Madame Serris, as you can see there, has a lot of use in the arena. Let's go ahead and see if we can find someone with like a shield set potentially. Don't really want to fight a Hegemon. Let's see. Let's deal with this. Let's see if they go faster than their Roshard. We'll probably get his block damage off. They are not faster though, so we're going to go ahead and speed up. So their Serris and Arbiter look like they're about to cut in. We're going to go ahead and remove these big shields though, which is a huge help to us. They go ahead and freeze themselves nice and pretty for us, so our Torment can come in and give them some block debuffs. He might get a stun on this Serris too. He does. Perfect. So now we're looking really good. The Serris is stunned, so we're going to go ahead and come in on Ray here. Make sure she's not going to do any damage to us. Let's kill the Arbiter. Wow, she is tanky. Go ahead and knock down some buff duration. And then we can see if we can get fear on her. We do not, but that's okay. More stuns and freezes coming out from our Torment here. Go A1 there, and then we can just go ahead and finish these guys off. So A3 to finish off Serris, A2 should finish him off, and beautiful. So Serris is one that you do want to watch out for when you're going into a fight. She can really help turn the tide against you. This is going to be a pretty tough one here. So this is basically the same team I'm running, but with Siphi instead of Torment. If Siphi manages to outspeed my team, then we are screwed. Basically, if Torment doesn't get his CC off, then it's going to be pretty rough for us. But it looks like we do have the advantage here, so we're going to remove these shields. Their Arbiter is going to go ahead and freeze everyone up. That's not guaranteed though, because Siphi can go ahead and just remove all of this from everyone. Now they've got block debuffs up. Let's see. I don't want the Serris to come in here and debuff us, but at the same time I'm pretty scared of Rotos, so we're going to come in and give him some schmack. And then maybe go A1 on him, let him counter attack and take a turn. That's going to give us a turn now to come in. And let's see, should we try to kill the Serris? No, I think we should just finish off Rotos here. He is done. Now we're going to go on Serris because we don't want her coming in and giving us that decreased defense. Drop her turn meter a little bit. See if we can potentially get a fear on her. We do not, so she's going to go ahead and do that to us now. That's going to make us a lot more susceptible, but luckily we've already killed the Roto, so their damage is dealt with. So we are not looking too bad here. I'm going to go ahead and save the revive in case Rotos goes down. It's impossible to tell how much health he is actually at, but there we go, he did go down there. So we're going to hit the Serris. This is a pretty tough team. Okay, I guess we got feared. Hopefully it wasn't true fear. Let's see. We come in here, and who should we go on? Let's go on Siphi, see if we can drop our turn meter. We do. Now we can go ahead and revive and get some turn meter boost. Our Rotos got slept, unfortunately. They do have block debuffs up. Man, this is a pretty rough fight here. Basically a battle of attrition, but now we can go ahead and remove all of those again, which is cool. Basically, who do we want to kill? I guess we go on the Siphi next, potentially. She is the one that's really making this tough. So we're just going to try and whittle her away, I suppose. We do want to block her revive because they do have an Arbiter who can come in there and do that for them. Let's see. Let's go ahead and remove that stuff from her. We don't want her blocking our stuff. I'm going to go ahead and save the turn meter boost until we get the revive. And just keep going on Sify in the meantime. They really can't do too much damage to us. Our Tormund gets slept, which is fine. We're not too worried about that. Now we can go ahead and get our Rotos going again. Hopefully Sify doesn't come back in and sleep him. She's frozen, but I think she has like a 45% chance of removing that at the start of her turn. So let's see, what can we do here? Try and get some fears going. Yeah, she goes ahead and removes it, but she goes on Tormund. It's not too bad. We do not have our block revive up, so we're just going to go ahead and go A1 there. And we do not have over 50% turn meter right now, so... Oh, now we do. So Sify can now come in and sleep us, which would be unfortunate. Man, this is a battle of attrition if I have ever seen one. Alright, so I think this should be it. We can come in, kill the Sify. Now we're looking pretty good. We can go on the Arbiter here. See if we can finish her off. We got another extra turn, so this should do it. And now finally we can finish off the Serris. Just throw it on auto because we're not too worried anymore. Man, that is one of the longest arena fights I have ever had, almost 4 minutes. I take that back. I've had some that were like 10, 15, but that was early game when, you know, you just can't really do a lot to each other. So, I mean, as you can see, Serris was on both of those teams there. They're both very high-level teams and tough to deal with. We'll go ahead and do one more here. Let's see, what do we want to go against? This one's pretty dangerous for my team because they have a Foley. Let's give something like... What do we want to do? Don't really want to fight another Sify. Let's go ahead and go against this. So they've got Arbiter coming in to speed up, and then Stag Knight is going to give the decreased defense, decreased attack. And then Ray is supposed to remove our buffs, and Skull Crown and Ray are both nukers. So it really just is going to depend on how fast our Arbiter is. She's not as fast as ours, so we're going to come in. She does cut in front of our Serris, though, unfortunately. So we do get a freeze on the Stag Knight, which is very nice. That means we don't have decreased defense on us, so we're looking pretty good. Let's get our Provokes out there. So as you can see, as you get into the higher levels of gold, even, like, the fights, the teams that you're against get pretty crazy. Like, I've got my Arbiter running at 316 speed and Serris at 222, and yet we're still getting cut in on. So the speed levels at the higher levels are just insane, but Serris is still completely capable of coming in there and competing. Let's go ahead and kill this Arbiter. If you're wondering why I didn't go A3 on the Skull Crown, it's just because it typically doesn't work properly for me. So there we go. We should be able to finish her off right now. And that is going to be the end. So one more thing that I should touch on before we end the video is that Serris is actually very good in Clan Boss as well. You probably wouldn't think it, but with her A3 here, which places a 50% decreased attack and a 60% decreased defense, those are two of the most important debuffs that you can put on the Clan Boss. And she does it on a 4-turn cooldown for 3 turns, meaning on a speed team, if you are moving 4 times for every 3 times that the Clan Boss is going, she can keep it up indefinitely. It's 100%. She is void. It doesn't hit. So there's absolutely no way that it can hit weak. But she is very good for that role. She doesn't do a lot of damage, but if you put her in War Master, you know, she's going to put out a decent amount. So I do not have her built for that role, so I'm not going to be showing her off there today. But she is absolutely a great option for someone who doesn't have like a Tyrell or a Jareg or something like that. So make sure to keep her in mind. Basically, anywhere you want to go in the game, she'll be great for you. She's great in faction wars as well. Just an overall beast of a champion. When they put out the Halloween champions, they made her and Miscreated Monster epics, and Harvest Jack and Brachus were the legendaries. They definitely got it backwards because Miscreated and Serris are absolutely insane. She's also, actually, I don't know if you all know this, but she's very good for going through the Nightmare campaign. So let's say we're in the Deadlands, for instance. Let's move on to Nightmare here. I think this is where all the Valkyries are. So let's say we want to come in here. We've just got Miscreated Monster and Serris coming in. And so they typically can clear pretty much all of the Nightmare campaign on their own. Just the two of them. They're very strong together. You get the decreased defense, you get decreased attack, you get some CC. So if you do have the two of them and you want to progress your way through the Nightmare campaign, you can just go ahead, put them on a team together, and watch as they absolutely decimate. Between the shields, the ally protection, the CC, even Serris is putting fears on. Miscreated Monster puts fears on for her when she has the ally protect. They are just a pretty crazy pairing. So we'll let it run through here, but that's going to be the end of the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Join the Discord or leave a comment down below if you have anything you'd like to talk about. I'm always happy to give you guys advice, and thanks for watching.